At 6 a.m., Amy Lynn Bradley was gone. No escrime, no straged, no confirmed witness. Just an empty balcony on a cruise ship floating silently through the Caribbean. For more than 2 decades, investigators believed the timeline was solid, that nothing happened in the minutes before Amy vanished. But that belief was wrong, because new forensic reviews, quiet retesting orders, and re-examined statements have revealed something investigators never wanted to admit. There is a missing moment. Not hours, not even minutes, just long enough for a life to disappear. And once you see where that moment exists, the entire case changes. Amy Lynn Bradley was 23 years old, athletic, independent, close to her family. In March 1998, she boarded the Rhapsody of the Seas with her parents and younger brother for what was meant to be a celebration vacation. There were no warning signs, no emotional distress, no history of running away. By every account, Amy was enjoying herself, which makes what happened next impossible to dismiss as an accident. On the early morning of March 24th, Amy returned to the family cabin after visiting the ship's nightclub. Sometime around 5:15 a.m., her father, Ron Bradley, saw her asleep on the balcony chair. He went back to bed. Less than an hour later, she was gone. The ship had not docked. The balcony railings were intact. The ocean below was dark and unforgiving. No confirmed evidence shows Amy falling or jumping, and no definitive evidence shows anyone entering the cabin. At least, that's what investigators claimed. Years later, investigators authorized additional forensic retesting, not because new evidence appeared, but because nothing ever fully made sense. Textile fibers collected from the cabin bedding and carpeting were re-examined, but analysts warned immediately. Cruise ship environments are hostile to forensic certainty. Fibers move constantly. They are transferred from passengers, cleaning equipment, ship-issued linens, and crew uniforms. No pre-cleaning control samples were taken in 1998. That means fiber comparison could only confirm one thing, that the materials match general ship textiles. Not a person, not an intruder, not Amy. Attention then turned to the balcony railing. Early reports suggested fingerprints belonging to multiple family members were present, which was expected. The railing was touched constantly, exposed to salt air, humidity, sunlight, and routine cleaning. Any biological residue preserved from 1998 would have degraded beyond recovery. Analysts noted that even if epithelial cells remained, modern testing would not yield usable DNA profiles. The evidence had aged out of science. Worse still, the retesting order revealed chain of custody problems. Some evidence containers were repackaged years after initial collection. Storage transitions were not fully documented. This does not automatically invalidate the evidence, but it severely weakens its probative value. The truth is simple. The absence of definitive forensic data has crippled this case from start. And yet, even inconclusive results mattered, because investigators were no longer asking who did it. They were asking something more basic. Did anyone else enter that cabin at all? During the re-evaluation of the Bradley case, analysts identified something deeply unsettling. An unresolved chronological gap. Investigators now call it the missing minute problem. In 1998, authorities assumed the timeline between approximately 5:15 a.m. and 6 a.m. was stable. No activity, no interruptions. But that assumption was never proven. Recent disclosures from Bradley, combined with re-examined witness statements and incomplete corridor surveillance footage, revealed something else. There may be a 1 to 2 minute interval where undocumented activity occurred. That window exists because no one can verify the exact moment Brad last saw Amy on the balcony, or the exact moment he realized she was gone. Over decades of interviews, his statements remained consistent in substance, but not in timing. The discrepancies range from 30 to 60 seconds. That may sound insignificant, but in an investigation like this, that is everything, because that is enough time for a door to open, enough time for someone to move unseen, enough time for Amy to vanish without noise. There is no definitive forensic proof. There is no confirmed intruder. There is no verified fall. But there is a missing moment, and cases are not solved by certainty. They are solved by gaps. The Bradley case remains unresolved not because nothing happened, but because something may have happened too quickly to record. 1 minute. That is all it takes. And until that minute is explained, Amy Bradley is not just missing. She is waiting for the truth to catch up.